Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you. I welcome you to the third lecture in the series of Renaissance literature. Today we're doing the topic Drama Before Shakespeare. Let us look at a very brief introduction. I've drafted a very simple to understand introduction for this topic. So drama before Shakespeare. Before Shakespeare, English theatre changed a lot. At first, it was mostly for educated people, but then it became popular for everyone. People like Christopher Marlowe made this happen. They mixed old stories with new ideas, contemporary ideas. In the 1550s, plays or dramas started to be funny or sad, which means comedies and tragedies started to emerge during this time. Some early plays like Ralph Twister and Gorboduc helped shape English drama before Shakespeare's time. These are two of the very important dramas that came before Shakespeare's time. We'll discuss in detail about these in the upcoming slides. First of all, we'll briefly understand uh, the university wits. University wits. Who are the university wits? I'm sure you must have heard this term. University wits are a group of late 16th century English playwrights and poets who were educated at the universities like Oxford and Cambridge, and who significantly influenced the development of English Renaissance drama. So this group of people who are educated at these prestigious institutes like Oxford and Cambridge, and who also contributed greatly to the English Renaissance drama, are known as university wits. The innovations of the university wits laid the groundwork for Shakespeare's work. So they were the people who brought out lots of innovations which acted as the foundation or groundwork for Shakespeare's works later during the same century. So the use of blank verse, complex characters, and classical influences can be seen in Shakespeare's play. So the the kinds of poetic devices used in Shakespeare's plays later were first used by these university wits. Like blank verse is a form of poetic device, a poetic structure, complex characters, use of complex characters, and influences from the classics. These are seen in Shakespeare's play. Marlowe, in particular, had a direct influence on Shakespeare's early works. So, Marlowe was among the university wits. Marlowe was that one person who had the most and direct influence on Shakespeare's early works. So let's discuss who are these university wits. Key figures are, first of all, very importantly, Christopher Marlowe. Christopher Marlowe is very well known for Dr. Faustus, Tamburlaine, and The Jew of Malta. So these are few of the very important works written by Marlowe. And Marlowe's works are marked by their poetic language and exploration of grand themes like ambition and power. We'll discuss more about Marlowe in the later slides. But for now, let's just understand that he explored grand themes like ambition and power. Robert Greene is another university wit. He's very famous for his work Friar Bacon and Friar Bungay and Orlando Furioso. So Green's work often featured elaborate plots. His plots were very elaborate, very expanded, and a mix of comic and serious elements, which means tragedy and comedy mixed. And third among the university wits is Thomas Nash. Thomas Nash, known more for his pamphlets in prose. So he's known more for his pamphlets in prose than his dramas. Nash also contributed to drama with plays like his very famous play Summer's Last Will and Testament, right? And then comes Thomas Lodge. Thomas Lodge, his romantic comedies like Rosalind influenced later works including Shakespeare's As You Like It. So very famously Shakespeare's As You Like It is influenced or inspired by this work Rosalind by Thomas Lodge. George Peele is one of the university wits. Peele's works such as The Old Wives' Tale and The Battle of Alcazar are notable for their lyrical quality and imaginative plots. Okay, then comes the last one, John Lilly. His plays, including Endymion and Galatea, are known for their elaborate prose style and courtly themes related to the court, which influenced Elizabethan court entertainments. Thomas Kidd. So Thomas Kidd is I've included Thomas Kidd because he is also considered as one of the university wits by many, and his very famous play, The Spanish Tragedy, had a significant impact on the development of English revenge tragedy. Keep this in mind. He is known for being very influential in the genre of revenge tragedy. The Spanish Tragedy is his very famous work. So now I'll tell you, Thomas Kidd is often associated with the university wits due to his very important contributions to English Renaissance drama. But technically speaking, he is not listed among the core group, the main group. Among the main group, he is not listed because there is no proof that he was educated at either Cambridge or Oxford. So this is the reason. So I've included him because in many cases he is also included, not technically, but he's included in the university wits. Influences. Now we'll talk about the influences during the time before Shakespeare. Derived from Latin sources. Comedies from Terence and Plautus, tragedies from Seneca. So the dramas, the plays that came before Shakespeare um, were mostly derived from Latin sources. So which Latin sources? For comedies, the dramatists or playwrights would rely mostly on Terence and Plautus, and for tragedies, for Seneca. Seneca is a very famous tragedian, right? Influence of medieval miracle and mystery plays. You must have heard about miracle and mystery plays. So these are a genre of plays during the medieval times, and so the times before Shakespeare, the playwrights before Shakespeare were influenced by these plays, miracle and mystery plays, and court interludes. Native English sources contribute to broad humor, allegory, and symbolism. So, not only these classic influences, but also native English sources contributed to broad humor, comic elements, and allegory and symbolism. The influence of Greek and Latin writers, the influence from the classics obviously was present in the dramas and plays of the Renaissance time, but it's they tried to establish their own style, and this establishment of their own style was epitomized, or the best example of it is shown by the use of blank verse, this rhyming structure called blank verse, and this was used very famously by playwrights like Shakespeare, right? So what is blank verse? Blank verse is unrhymed lines of 10 syllables each. So each line has 10 syllables with the stress falling on every second syllable, which means first one first one would be stressed, the second would be first one would be unstressed, and second would be stressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, this way, right? So the Shakespeare was a very famous person who used this blank verse. A culmination around 1590, the culmination, the high time of the use of blank verse were in the major tragedies of Marlowe and by Thomas Kit in the Spanish tragedy, and Shakespeare's works towards more intense and subversive theme. See, so these dramatists started to employ very innovative rhyming scheme, poetic structure such as blank verse, as well as making the drama more intense and subversive in theme, right? So this way they were trying to create their own or establish their own style of writing. So let us now talk about the early Tudor works, the plays that came during the early period of Tudor dynasty, though those that came before Shakespeare, of course. John Heywood produced the play called The Four Peepy, and it was a precursor to realistic comedies, right? Realistic comedies is a genre of comedy of play, and this play, The Four Peepy, acted as a precursor. So it kind of started the trend of this realistic comedies. Henry Medwell's Fulgens and Lucrece is considered a very successful early Tudor drama. Ralph Roister and Gorboduc that we discussed in the introductory section, these two are very famous plays, and they are considered as the early comedy and tragedy. So Ralph Roister is considered one of the first comedies, and Gorboduc, who was written by Thomas Norton, who is considered the first of tragedy, right? And Gamma Gurton's Needle, the authorship is unknown, introduces farcical elements in a domestic setting. So this play, whose authorship is not known, introduced some the farcical elements, comic elements in a setting which is domestic setting. Let us now discuss about Christopher Marlowe, this very important figure who came before Shakespeare. He is born in 1564 and died in 1593. He died at the age of 29, at a very early age, and he is known as he was a very renowned English playwright, poet, and translator. So he was so many things at such an early age. Dr. Faustus Tamburlaine the Great, the Jew of Malta, and Edward II are very his important works, although he has written many, many more works. Marlowe's use of classical background to create rich heroic verses. He would often use classical background to create rich and heroic verses. Grand verses. His lasting impact on English drama through his exploration of complex themes and innovative use of language. His themes were very complex, very complicated, and also the way he used the language was also very innovative, very new. Exploration of themes like love at first sight, ambition, and intellectual torment. We'll see the theme of intellectual torment in the very famous play Dr. Faustus, right? Marlowe's characters often is faced by the transient nature of human existence. What is the transient nature of human existence? It is the temporariness of our life, of the time that we have on earth. Right? His characters are faced by that, symbolized by the short duration of theatrical performance. So the theatrical performance during that time, the plays of Marlowe's were used to be very short, and it was it was symbolic, or it used to symbolize the shortness of our human life. So Elizabethan dramas had this theme of mortality and the limitations of earthly power, how much a human being can have power on this earth during the short period of time, right? These were the themes that were being explored, and so these themes were being symbolized by the shortness of plays on in theater. His plays like Edward II and Dr. Faustus, they dealt very deeply into issues of sexuality, authority, power, mortality, which means the transience or the impermanence of human life, and often with tragic outcomes. Most of his plays would show a very tragic outcome, very grave, very grim, very serious, and tragic outcomes, or tragic end of the story. Examination of homosexual sensibility and political themes in works like Edward II. Edward II is a play that he wrote which dealt with such themes like homosexual sensibility, which was not very, uh, common during that time, obviously, but he wrote about these themes and obviously political themes in the Edward II. So here we have come to the end of the drama before Shakespeare, the third lecture in the series of Renaissance literature. And let us summarize very quickly. University wits elevated Renaissance drama with classical influences and popular appeal. Popular appeal as in contemporary the use of contemporary themes and innovative styles. Early English drama evolved or changed from Latin and medieval plays. Innovations included complex characters, advanced plots, and the use of blank verse. This era or this time set the stage for Shakespeare and the golden age which was to come of English drama. Okay, so let's stop here. I hope you've enjoyed the lecture. Please do attend the fourth lecture in the series, and we'll continue with our learning. Please keep learning. Have a good time.